So Corey Davis has been signed. The New York Jets got him, and I love it. It's perfect. What a great fit. Mike LaFleur, who I'm assuming he's going to run a similar offense to his brother. Obviously, it won't be a one-for-one, but, the offense that his brother runs, also the offense that Kyle Shanahan ran, who, that's who he coached under for most of his career. That's a run-heavy offense where you kind of build off of that, and that is just perfect for Corey Davis, because that's what he just came from, and he's coming off a 1,000-yard season. It's a 3-year, $37 million, 27 guaranteed. So, you're paying him some, but you're not going crazy with it. I think it's a very reasonable deal, and I think you're getting some real talent in a position of need. This is just perfect. Absolutely love it. And I guess it could be argued that, well, wait a second. This isn't the exact same system, so is there some concerns? And to that I say, well, let's just get into the film study. So let's start off with this play, because this is going to be something that I think a lot of people are going to be concerned about with this Corey Davis signing, right? Yes, he had a very good statistical year, but he played with that Titans offense. And a Titans offense, it's very easy for wide receivers to get open because everyone's so afraid of Derrick Henry. That just makes things so much easier. And I would be lying if I said that wasn't a part of it. Like, the good running game absolutely set things up for everybody involved. For Tannehill, for Corey Davis, for A.J. Brown, all of them. It helps it, of course. You couldn't even think of denying that. This plays an example. It's a cover 3 zone. You have Davis, who's going to be running a route, and you see the route on the screen. And Marcus Peters, who's the guy who's supposed to cover deep towards the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, which is deep to Ryan Tannehill's right, you're going to see him trying to stop the run too. Watch. Peters takes a step in because there was the play action. He thought that it might have been a running play. He got a little bit fooled. And that little step is going to be all that Corey Davis needs. So, again, you get players out of position with play action, and in doing that, you hope that your skilled wide receivers can take advantage, and Corey Davis is absolutely going to be able to take advantage and then some. Watch him just get completely past Peters. I mean, that's as wide open as it gets in the NFL, and he's able to run over until a safety brings him down. So that's kind of a little bit of what Corey Davis can do. It is fair to say, okay, yeah, those numbers get inflated a little bit. And, if he was ever, listen, injuries happen and all of that stuff. So if you're ever in a situation where you don't have a running game, that could be an issue. But, again, there's more to it than that. A better example will be this one of really how a good running game can make things easier for a wide receiver. This is your typical play action idea, right? You run play action. It's against zone coverage. Linebackers over the middle are going to move in, and because they're going to move in, that can now mean that there's going to be bigger windows for Ryan Tannehill to throw it to a receiver he wants to hit. In this case, it's Corey Davis running over the middle. Tannehill takes the snap. Davis runs over the middle. He gets to his spot pretty quickly. Tannehill hits him, and Davis picks up a solid gain on that one. That's a fine play, but again, it's not quite the same as just beating somebody in man coverage. The receiver that can win that kind of matchup and, do well on that route doesn't necessarily mean they're an elite wide receiver. That's just a way that you can pick up some yards. However, this is not all Corey Davis can do. This is a part of it, and I'm not denying that. But really, it's how he plays in this system, but he's able to break off, and it allows him to do other things while still operating in this system. So like on this one, it's, again, a cover 3 zone. Again, it's a play action. But this time, they're doing something a little bit unique, and this is kind of the beauty of that, Arthur Smith system. And it's kind of what Tennessee has been so good at over these past couple of years, really since Tannehill became a starter, is that, okay, yes, run play action, have a receiver run over the middle, and oftentimes what you want to do as well is have a player run a deep route, which pushes the safety deep, which can now, linebackers move in, safety is deep, now it's a much bigger window to make the throw to. But what's unique about it is you can mix up which receivers are doing what. So, Corey Davis, who's the number 2 receiver, which means he's closer towards the sideline, further away from the sideline. He's running the deeper route. The unique thing about this is that you would kind of mix it up, and the defensive players just don't know exactly who is going where. So watch how once this play starts, you notice that Davis kind of fakes as though he's going to be the guy who's running over the middle. And this is going to get the safety to want to move in a little bit, since he knows he has a defensive back covering the other Tennessee player, he has to make sure Davis is covered. And if Davis is running over the middle, he's totally cool with running in that direction as well and taking away Davis. But then when Davis cuts deep, he gets, again, wide open, and that's going to be a big completion right there. And, yes, it's fair to say, like, that was a mistake. Like, that was a bad defensive play, but I also think that it was and the situation certainly came into play as well, but it was a great route, and that's kind of my point. It's very similar to how Justin Jefferson had such a breakout season in Minnesota. Very similar system. He ran a lot of very similar routes and did a very similar job at being able to do other things at, breaking off of those routes. Like, this play is going to be another pretty good example of really essentially the exact same thing, where what's going to end up happening on this one is it's going to be a cover 3 zone, and again, similar idea, but now Davis fakes as though he's running over the middle and is then going to run to the to the offense's right. And again, it's just these little things you can do to sort of manipulate a basic coverage or a basic scheme into something slightly different that can make a world of difference. So Tannehill takes the snap. He does, run to play action. And you see, again, Davis doing a good job of getting the defensive back to think he's running over the middle. So then when he cuts back towards the outside, again, it's wide open. And yes, the scheme does matter. The scheme is part of what's getting him open, but it's also how he's running these routes and his good route running that's allowing him to get open. So it's hard to tell exactly, how good just pure talent he is. It's hard to say that about anybody. Everyone, is a system player to some degree, right? Everyone plays better in one system than in a different system. But like on this play, I think this is a fine play of showing that, like, no, he can run other routes too. Like, it's not all just him, getting yards off of play action. A good amount are, but that's also just how Tennessee runs their offense, and he can do other stuff. So this is going to be just a 3-man rush. Davis's route is what you see on the screen, but what's going to be interesting about it really is what happens once this play starts. So once Davis starts his route, you notice that Cleveland player who's currently looking at Davis, he's the guy in charge of covering the flat on the offense's right, which is basically right around where Corey Davis is currently standing in, right around that area. That's where he's supposed to cover. But what Davis wants to give the impression that he is not just cutting closer to the middle, because if he is, then the Cleveland player who's looking at him is just going to start covering Davis in that area. If Davis is running a go route, then the defensive back who's further deep will be the guy who's covering Davis, and you'd want to just pass Davis off. So really what Davis has to do here, and where this play is going to be won, is if Davis can not show that he's about to cut until after the Cleveland player who's looking at him it no longer looks at him, basically. Wait until you get past him and then cut over the middle. That's how you're going to have to get open on this play. So it's going to be really the stem portion of the route that's going to be important. The stem meaning before he makes a cut. The beginning part of the route where you're just running up in a line, really selling that it could be basically just selling that he's not running over the middle. That's what he has to do. And as you see, that's what he does. Just a perfect well-ran route. Again, he's a good route runner. He really is. And I think that it's something that he's improved a lot on over the years. And I think that he deserves a lot of credit. I know a lot of people are going to say, he was drafted, so early, hasn't lived up to the hype. But in my opinion, he's a good player. He's underrated at this point. And, I think that people wrote him off as a bust. Not a bust. Maybe not a superstar like they thought they were getting when they drafted him, the Titans, but still a very good player. So yeah, that's what I think of Corey Davis. That's what I think of this move. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.